Hey guys, I am so glad I'm finally able to sit down and have this little chat with you guys about how I became an Agnes Dora rep, why I chose Agnes Dora. I have always wanted to start a business. My husband and I have always talked about it even since before we were married, but neither of us felt like we had a good skill set or a good business knowledge in that. So the conversation would kind of come up every couple of months and then it would just get dropped because neither of us had any ideas. And over the years I have seen a lot of network marketing, and I have absolutely nothing against network marketing. However, I recognize that being passionate about a product is not enough. So there are many products that I use that are from direct sales companies that I love. Take, for example, essential oils. You guys, I love essential oils. I use them daily. And when people come over to my house, it's really very typical to have my case of essential oils out on the counter. I'm like doling out samples to people. So there was a period of time where I thought, I really love this and I love sharing it with people, and I think that it's really helpful to people. So maybe I should look at this to make like a side income. But when I looked at the business model of the essential oil companies that I love, I recognized that even though I'm passionate about these products, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be successful in this business. And the biggest thing that was a turnoff for me for like 98% of direct sales companies is that it's nearly impossible to generate a good income, and I'm talking more than just a couple $100s a month, but it's really hard to even hit those numbers unless you're recruiting a huge team, and that wasn't something I wanted to do. So it just wasn't something I felt comfortable with. I'm not a super social person, so I just felt like that was going to be an uphill battle for me. Could I have done it? I have come to learn that I can do a lot of things that I never thought I could do. So I'm sure I probably could have done it, but it was going to be an uphill battle. I didn't really want to fight that battle. I just wanted a business where I could make income based on my own work. And then if team building were to come naturally, then by all means, that's awesome, because I love to share good things with people. And if what I have to share resonates with you, then that's amazing. But I am not going to chase somebody down. So that's kind of my spiel on how, especially when it comes to direct sales companies, being passionate about a business and being passionate about a product doesn't mean that it's a good business model. You have to look at your strengths and weaknesses, and you have to look at whether or not building a team is what you want to focus on. And that's kind of going to determine your success in direct sales. That's just how it is. In March of this year, so March 2017, I learned about LuLaRoe for the first time. Yes, I am way behind on the times apparently. I was not on Facebook for the last 4.5 years. I had heard the name before, but I really didn't know what it was other than like selling leggings. I tried to like Google it, and I had asked, I actually have a cousin and his wife who were doing amazingly with LuLaRoe, unbeknownst to me because they don't live in the same state. But when I had heard that they were doing this business, I was like, do you guys have a website? I'd love to check it out and support you guys. Most of it's done on Facebook or in-home parties. So I didn't have a local consultant, and I really wanted to support my cousin, so I wanted to shop with them. They were out of state. They only did business on Facebook, so I really had no way of knowing about it. They came to New York to visit, and we kind of got into this conversation, and they weren't trying to like recruit me or anything. So LuLaRoe was their full-time income, and I was really I was interested in that. So I started asking them more about it. And I went home that night and I did some research on YouTube, but I really wasn't sure if it was something that I could handle because I have 5 children who I homeschool. So really the time factor of it was really intimidating to me. The time factor was more intimidating to me than the financial investment. So I continued to research it, ultimately came to the decision that I was going to join the Q, which I did. And during that time, I continued to do research, and I would say about 4 to 5 weeks into the queue, I started to see some red flags that concerned me. There were a lot of people going out of business and posting all of their inventory at deeply discounted prices in buy-sell trade groups. LuLaRoe was continuing to onboard like 200, 500 people a day. So the other thing that a lot of people will often see is that LuLaRoe consultants don't get to choose their own prints. Everybody knows this, and there are varying degrees of opinions on this issue. So here's my opinion on that issue. I can sell hot dog leggings. I could. But it's a lot easier for me to sell leggings that are pretty. I don't know how else to put it, you guys. I can sell hot dog leggings, but as a new rep, it's really important to me to be able to turn my inventory over. I want to turn and burn it. I want it coming in and going out as quickly as possible. I don't want a piece of clothing sitting on my rack for a very long time, because that means I'm not able to bring fresh stuff in, and that means I'm not making as much money as I could. So yes, can I sell leggings that I don't love or prints that I don't love? Yeah, not everything is about what I like, that's true. However, we don't need to push that to the extreme. Also, I am just not passionate enough about crazy leggings to spend all of my time and energy to find the one or two people, maybe 3 people who are like hunting for hot dogs and hamburgers and french fries on their leggings. I just don't have that kind of time, and it's not income producing enough for me to make it worth it. This isn't about bashing them, it's just these were the issues that came up for me when I was making a decision, so I'm sharing them with you. When I was first researching LuLaRoe, I did see Agnes Dora pop up, especially on YouTube, but I kind of dismissed it. But when I started to see these red flags when I was in the LuLaRoe queue, I did decide to go back and research a few of them. And there's more than Agnes Dora. There's a few companies out there, and I did decide to go out and research them. I kind of narrowed it down to Agnes Dora. I valued about Agnes Dora that when reps raised questions and concerns, Buffy, who's the founder, and headquarters listens. They don't turn it around and tell you that you need to go be a better salesperson. They listen. Now, they do kind of give you a kick in the pants sometimes, and if they do offer training, because we all can sometimes have a bad attitude sometimes about something, or we're not looking at things from the right perspective, but they do this in a constructive and encouraging way, not in a condescending way. So I also love that I can choose my own prints. That gives me more control over my business. I don't have a lot of extra money to sit around just buying more inventory because I don't have stuff that's moving. And anytime I have inventory sitting that's not moving, that's money. This is money here. But this is not money that I can go to the store and spend. So I need to move it out so that I can have income coming in. Otherwise, I am not a successful businesswoman. So choosing my own prints and having that control over my business was important to me. There was some brand recognition, but it was not oversaturated. There were like 2 or 3 other reps I'm in Western New York, so from like Syracuse to Buffalo, there were like three of us, I believe. There's more now, but when I was researching it, there were 3. And I really liked that there was some brand recognition. It wasn't completely unknown to everybody, but there were still many people who hadn't been introduced to it. And I do think saturation is an issue. I also know that there are many different opinions on that as well, and that's okay. We can all have different opinions, and that's totally cool. I don't need to recruit. And this stands for LuLaRoe as well, but this is more of a comparison between this kind of business where you're carrying an inventory and the bulk of your business is your sales. So the bulk of my income is going to come from how much inventory I move, how much work I put in. I don't have to recruit so many people, and my income is not dependent on how many people I can gather around me and how many people I can get to do work so that I can make income. That was really important to me. At this point, I'm ready to build a team. But in my first month, I was not ready to build a team, and that was totally okay, you guys. I still brought in a paycheck, and I still, you know, like a really good paycheck, like more than I was able to make at the old part-time job I used to have. So that was huge for me. There were less issues with the going out of business sales and deeply discounting prices. And there are ladies that go out of business and choose to take that route, but it's not as huge of an issue because Agnes and Dora has chosen to grow very slowly. We still have less than 3,000 reps at this point. I think I came in at like just under 2,000. So there's just not that many, and we honestly, there's a sisterhood in place so that when we see a lady a woman who decides to go out of business, we all kind of like circle around her, like to help her move her inventory. We buy her items from her to help her move on and to recoup her investment. We don't just kind of like leave her in the dust. I just got 2 huge boxes in last week of de-stash items from ladies who had decided that this business was not for them and they wanted to move their inventory out. And I think that that's really the healthiest way to go about going out of business, not discounting it on a buy-sell trade group where you're undercutting other women who are still trying to run their business, and creating a culture amongst the customers where they stop buying from active reps and start waiting for going out of business sales. That's really an unhealthy practice for the company as a whole. But it's not an issue that is affecting Agnes and Dora because we take care of each other and we have each other's backs. And these ladies that I bought de-stashes from, these are not ladies that I know. They are not on my team. I had never met them before, but I saw that they were going out of business and that they wanted to move their inventory along, and I helped them out with that because they had some really great stuff, and that's the right thing to do, and that's just the culture of this company. Generally speaking, just like a blanket statement, the culture of Agnes and Dora is just doing what is right and good because it's what's right and good. And that really resonates with me. So this is everything that I have to share with you guys. If there are any questions that you have, I will have my contact information below. If you are watching this and you are a customer, I am also going to have my Facebook group below. I would love to have you join us. I have a really great group of ladies and I really love it, and I would love to have you join me there. So I think that is everything, and I hope you guys found this helpful. Goodbye.